Welcome kings and queens to another episode of What the fuck am I doing with my life? Did you know the Elder Scrolls wikis have pages on every insult, swear and slur used in the series? That's some deep lore right there. Now, since I'm Eastern European, I'm pretty much as racist as it gets. Therefore, I'm the most qualified person to make a tier list out of every slur in the Elder Scrolls series. And that's exactly what I'll be doing for this video. I will go through each race, ranking their insults based on 3 decisive factors: offensiveness, coolness, and popularity. Offensiveness is straightforward enough. The more racist or insulting a swear word is, the higher the rank it's getting. Coolness is about the word itself. Does it sound exotic? Does it roll off the tongue easily? Does it feel good to say? Then it's a cool insult. As for popularity, it's about how many times we've heard the word being used in games or in memes and that sort of stuff. I tried distributing all these swears as evenly and fairly as possible, but feel free to leave your corrections and suggestions in the comments below. Hope you're ready for this because I'm about to get racist. Nah, I'm just kidding, this is obviously a shitpost. I'm not condoning racism or any of that shit, so don't take it too seriously, okay? Alright, let's get right to it then. We shall begin with the Dunmer, the most based race in all of Tamriel. First up we have Fetzer, a fairly famous word with multiple interpretations. It could mean stupid, it could mean thief, or even slave, since they both fetch things, I guess. Not very offensive, but it sounds cool and we've all heard it before. B tier. Enwa is a slur that needs no introduction. An insult the Dunmer use for all Outlanders, even of her kind, and the poster boy of racism in Morrowind. And for good reason too. It sounds exotic, it's almost as powerful as our very own N-word, and I love hearing it every time I enter a cave and a half-naked dark elf tries to cave my skull in with an iron club. Easy S tier. And Cao, on the other hand, I don't know what it means. Yeah, the wikis don't have an explanation for every insult here, so we have to use our imagination. And Cao sounds kinda like Enwa, so I'm assuming it's something equally racist. But it sounds more like a cereal brand than a proper swear, so off to B tier you go. Sweet is another certified Morrowind classic. It could mean thief, but I think it's better interpreted as a combination of slow and witted. Basically, it means you're stupid. Not that offensive, but it sounds alright, and you get to hear it a lot from our lovely dark elf friends if you piss them off. So I think A tier is appropriate. Bvek is the last Dunmer word, and it's simply an exclamation of surprise, like saying, "Oh Bvek, that cliff racer is coming right for me." It's not even an insult, but it gets to C tier because it sounds dark elfish enough. The Argonians are special when it comes to their vocabulary because I can't pronounce most of their words, but I'll try my best. Xuf is a type of vulgar interjection. Yeah, I don't know what it means, but it's short, it's powerful, and very exotic, as all Argonian swears are. Oh, what the hell, let's take it to A tier. Kaok means crap or shit, whichever you prefer. It's not offensive towards someone, so that's an instant C tier for me. Same deal with Waxuril, which just means damn it. It sounds awesome, don't get me wrong, but the shock value is not there. Lucule, on the other hand, is amazing. It's a slur directed to assimilated Argonians, meaning Argonians that no longer live in the Black Mars, but have instead adopted the ways of the Empire. I love it, racism against your kind is the best kind of racism. S tier for sure. And finally we have Akalxan, another insult for foreigners which translates to dry killer, whatever that means. Now, it ranks high on the racism scale, but it's such an insanely hard word to pronounce. It pains me to do so, but it's gonna be in B tier. Still pretty good, but could be better. Surprisingly, the Altmer only have one swear word. I was expecting way more, given the fact that they have the Falmor and all that race supremacy shit going on. Still, it's an exceptional swear word, Nebara, which is simply described as foreigner, but come on, it's the high elves we're talking about here. I can guarantee that it's just as powerful as Enwa, and it rolls off the tongue quite nicely as well. It's an S tier for sure, it's racist and sounds great to say. What more could you need? Moving on to the Nords, which are also not as racist as I expected. I guess after Morrowind, Bethesda decided to tone things down. The first word is snowback, and this one's a thinker. The best interpretation I could find is this. Since Skyrim is a snowy place, someone with a snowy back probably falls down a lot or gets beaten down easily. Therefore, a snowback is a weakling. Okay, it's the most intellectual insult we've encountered so far, so I guess B tier is fitting for this one. Now, milk drinker is an insult used by both the Nords and the Dunmer apparently, and it means that the person you're insulting is weak, like a baby that drinks milk out of its mother's breast. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the shock value here. It sounds funny instead of offensive. Like seriously, who'd get mad at being called a baby or someone that drinks milk? However, you hear it all the time in Skyrim and it sounds unique, so it barely manages to reach B tier. Grayskin is amazing though. It's a slur directed exclusively towards the Dunmer, for obvious reasons. Judging someone negatively because of their skin color has always been one of the core values of discrimination, and as the CEO of racism, I approve wholeheartedly. A tier. Source bones and Orky's beard are quite the same. They are just exclamations of surprise, frustration, or anger. They're not insulting anyone, and I couldn't give a fuck about someone's bones or beard, but they're both gonna be C tier, just because they honor the traditions and mythology of the Nords. Ah, the Khajiit, everyone's favorite race of thieves and drug dealers. They have some cool slurs though, like Renridzi, which may just mean scum, but come on, it looks pretty sweet. I adore how oriental it sounds, therefore it's gonna be A tier, even though it's not as racist as the rest. Jekosit is an interesting one. Although there is no official interpretation of the word, the Tagra project translates it to shipfucker. Alright, I'm glad I found that one. It's not racist, but still it's super offensive, although it doesn't sound as cool as Renridzi. B tier is appropriate, I think. The next ones are kinda stinky, unfortunately. Musk Rs obviously means you have a stinky asshole. While a powerful attack on someone's hygiene, it's still a middle school level insult. C tier is the best I can do. Clawless is the final Khajiit word, and who gives a fuck really? It's meant to discriminate against those who are not Khajiit, but in all honesty, you guys are the tweakers of Tamriel, so no one takes you seriously anyway. F tier. The orcs only have one swear word in their arsenal, and of course it's about procreation. I don't think anyone is surprised in the slightest. The word is tusk, by the way, and it's the equivalent of saying fuck. So you can use it in a variety of ways like tusk you, or who gives a tusk, or even I tusk your mother right in her musk arse. It sounds stupid as all hell, but it's still very entertaining. And just because it's very flexible, it's gonna be a C tier for me, despite its lack of offensiveness or coolness. You know, for a race famous for its sword singing, I was expecting a bit more from the Redguards. But disappointingly they only have one insult, and that is Tobra, which means useless. I'll tell you what is useless, it's this damn insult. It doesn't sound cool, it's very weak offensiveness wise, and I just don't care for it. So off to D tier you go, and good riddance. Of course, who could forget Tamriel's beloved cannibals? I could only find 2 insults for the Bretons, but they are better than I thought. First up we have Sandpiper, which sounds oddly sexual, but it's actually a derogatory term for a person of the Isles. I'm not quite sure what that means, but hey, it's racist, it sounds cool, and I can see some parallels to our own insults, so let's get it to A tier. Drake is an impolite curse originating from the Druid language, but no one knows what it means. Still, it sounds amazing and I like its unique origin, so despite my not knowing if it's offensive enough, I'll give it a solid B for effort. Before I move on to the more general insults, there are a few unique ones from Dragons and Daedra. Spoiler alert, they all suck. The Daedra thankfully only have one, Zaffa. What can I say about it? I don't know what it means and I don't like the way it sounds. It has nothing going on for it, so off to D tier it goes. Dragons are equally lame with words such as Nikrin, which means coward. It sounds alright, but it lacks the punch and intellectuality the Nord insults have. Therefore, it's rather weak and deserves the D tier in my opinion. The next 2 are absolute F tier material. Zam means slave, which is already dull as shit, not to mention it reminds me of that absolute atrocity of a YouTube thumbnail. And then there's Roof, which means damn. Do I even have to say anything? It's the most milquetoast swear word there is. And if that's not enough, you gave it an old lady's name. How can I ever take dragons seriously ever again? Finishing things off, we have a few more general insults. Cur is boring, unimaginative, and frankly not even that insulting. No one cares, F tier. The rest are slightly better, but not by much. Lizard/scale skin is meant to discriminate against Argonians, which, okay, fair enough. It can be offensive, I guess, but they are literally anthropomorphic lizards. They do have scales, so what's offensive about that? Same deal with housecat for Khajiit. At the end of the day, they are big cats standing on two legs. You may think I'm racist for not taking these insults more seriously, especially since I ranked other slurs higher up. Well, I don't care, and no one cares about Argonians and Khajiit either. D tier for both. Finally, we have Knife-ear, which is meant to discriminate against all mer, or elves, whichever suits you. It's kinda racist, kinda offensive, but in all honesty, it sounds more badass than insulting. Like, hell yeah, I have knives for ears, I'm a tough motherfucker. So yeah, not very powerful, and our final D tier item for the day. We made it, that's all the slurs I found. But what about the Bosmer and the Imperials? They don't have any, so they can get fucked, I guess. I'm sure there are many more swears I could find if I dive deep into the lore of the cities, but I just wanted a simple and fun video for all you racism enthusiasts. But at the end of the day, is there a lesson to be learned here? Sure, why not? Racism is bad, but if you have to do it, be racist against everyone. In that case, it's called misanthropy, and that won't get you cancelled, at least for now. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stuff. You know how it goes. You can also support me on Patreon or become a channel member for early access to my videos and other perks. Have a great day, and until next time, take care and have fun.